Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1:02 p.m. Getting a little bit of a late start, but I had to brew some afternoon coffee. But we are ready now for a live stream coming out of Chicago, Wednesday, August 25th, 2021. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Here, it is a very hot day. It is a very humid day. We had some pretty strong storms last night, but I thought that would really clear out a lot of humidity. It did not clear out that humidity today. So it is a very hot day, but we're here. We made it. It's time for a live stream. First, let's say hi to everyone listening on the podcast, on the audio version. Hopefully you guys are doing well today and either already got your run in the morning to beat the heat a little bit, or are going to wait until things cool off in the afternoon. And that's when you're listening to this, I hope. Or if you're on your commute, hopefully you got the AC cranked and it's nice and cool. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, welcome to you guys as well. Always feel free to put stuff into the comments. I'll be able to respond to you that way. And hopefully you're at a point in your day where you can have a nice recovery beverage like a coffee or something a little bit stronger for you if that's what you're into. All right. Let's see who we got in the chat here today. We've got Frank says, if Courtney manages her stomach well this time around, she should beat Beth Pascal or Ragna. But both women were great at Western States. I'm embarrassed not knowing much on all the Chinese runners. Yeah, I was just watching some of the I Run Far coverage today, or at least the pre-race interviews today. Yeah, I mean, isn't it so strange that it's like she's one of the most phenomenal athletes we've ever seen. And, I don't want to like diminish it as saying like tummy troubles, but like her digestive issues or what took her out of the last race at Hard Rock and could be the thing that her nutrition could be what holds her back here. She is a returning champion, right? So excited to see what can happen there. Kyle says, yo, what's going on? Run with Head of the Beagle this morning. Awesome. Cool. Took the gravel bike on a mountain bike single track last night and had a blast. That sounds like fun, guys. And, I'm thinking, I've got the mountain bike in Iowa, and I think that I'm going to try and take it on some mountain bike trails. Like, I think I'm going to go back up to Decorah where that Crater Trail 50K was. A lot of like mountain bikers out there. So I think that might be something fun to do after, I'm not sure when, but like the next time we can go back up there, I think that'll be a fun thing to do for sure. A whole new world of cycling has opened up to me. And I'm pretty excited to kind of dip my toes in and see what it's all about. John Ritchie says, Heiko, got the endorphin speed and the pro. Find the pro a bit hard on the feet, running the Manchester Marathon in 6 weeks, shooting about 4 hours. Any suggestions? Good vibes. All right. If you think that I think that the pro is a bit hard. And I didn't consider the Endorphin Pro to be a marathon shoe for me. I think it's a great half marathon shoe. I think it's a great marathon workout shoe. And I think it's ideally suited for like the 10K to half marathon distance. So I would say use the pro for your training. So kind of flip the script on it. Most people think of the speed as the trainer and the pro as the racer. Use the pro for your training because you'll be doing a lot of your training for your marathon at threshold paces, maybe some 5K time trials, all that harder, faster work, bust out the pro. And then for the race itself, go with the speed. It's a little bit softer. It's going to give you a little bit more cushion for the amount of time that you're going to be out there. So that's kind of what I would recommend if those are the two that you're like thinking about, like which one should I use? That's what I would go with. All right, JC says, howdy, guess what day it is? Mike. It's hump day. You guys are so funny. Oh, man. Mile62 Trail Running Channel says, Frank, there are 2 pro Chinese females in the UTMB. Fuqiao Chang, I think I said that right, is top ranked. I probably didn't. And I bet Courtney wins again this year. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, there was some sad news though, tragic news overnight. I remember getting to bed a little bit later and hearing about the race, the one race, the TDS, being halted. And so, because a runner fell and died. So another tragedy in the mountain ultra trail racing scene. I think they tried to get that person out by helicopter, but it was not enough. So a dangerous sport. Still, we got to remember that. But yeah. Jesse Storbeck says, yo, I'm bending my fall marathon training because of Achilles tendonitis. I'm so sorry to hear that, buddy. It says going high drop in the Brooks Ghost was not enough to save me. LOL. I'm never really sure when people say that about the tendon ice. I guess like I could see why like high drop or very high drop would work, but I'm also like, does that make it worse or better? I don't know. I could be convinced either way, but I'm sorry to hear that it didn't work out for you. Yeah, and that Ghost, that's a 12 millimeter drop shoe, right? It's a lot of drop. But I'm bummed to hear that. Luis Becerra says, "Yo, what's going on? What's going on, Luis? Good to see you." And Ed says, "Hi, all. Before I chat, just want to go over some disclosures. No one sent me the link to this live stream. No one paid me to watch the live stream. So, with that disclosure out of the way, let's start." Well, I appreciate that. There could be people watching thinking like, who are all these people here? They might be bots. They might be paid to be here. So I appreciate the disclosures always. So one thing to keep in mind. So I think I'm still trying to upload today's video. I thought it'd be done by now, but it's still uploading and the computer's in the other room, so I can't pause it without getting up. But that is going up today right now. And so if the connection isn't so great, it's because I am I guess in a big metaphor for myself, I'm getting in my own way. In terms of like the live stream upload quality. So I apologize for that. It should be done soon. I really thought it'd be done by now. All right. Hooray. Stolar's a happy jogger says hi to Co and the gang. 4-mile tempo run in this Saucony endorphin speed. Sweet. Good. That's great. Right. All right. I think that you've been really enjoying those since they got it. And you got the Nova Blast 2, I think, at the same time. It's a lot of fun shoes. Awesome. Glad to hear you're enjoying them. And my mom's here coming in from New Jersey. Very cool. All right. I'm going to try to catch up to you guys, but I got to make sure I say hi to everyone that was here earlier. It says, Co and Co, early birds. I'm early-ish. Co, your face is a big blur. Is it? Uh-oh. So maybe you're going to have to figure out if my face is a big blur. Did you guys ever see that? There's a Woody Allen movie where I forget which one it is because he made so many. And they're all, like the premise of all of them is kind of the same, right? But there's a Woody Allen movie where people are literally out of focus. They're blurry. I don't remember. I saw that movie maybe 15 years ago. Anyone? No, nobody. But hopefully the other thing will finish uploading soon, and then we'll get back to it. If it doesn't, if the conditions don't improve quickly, I'll go and stop that other upload. All right. Jason Dahl said, "Hey everyone, storms pushed yesterday's run to tonight. It's just as nasty out, isn't it? It's just gross out there. It's so hot." I had the pleasure of going for a run today with some internet friends, people that I have been, interacting with on Instagram and YouTube for a long time, but never actually met in person. We almost met a couple of times, but never in person. They were in Chicago today, so we went for a run along the lakefront. Really nice, beautiful views, but it was hot. The places where there's the best views, there isn't a lot of tree cover, and so we were just like cooking out there. So it was hot, and that was at like 9:00 in the morning. So like in theory, not that bad. In the southern counties, in some of the like further areas down south from Chicago, they're in a heat advisory. So like I don't think the actual temperature is going to get to hit triple digits, but like the feels like temperature is going to be like close to 110. So there's a heat advisory for those counties that are a little bit further away from the lake. So it's hot. It's so hot here. I know it gets hotter other places, but for me, this is hot. All right. Chris Dyke wants to know if work will allow him to make it through the full live stream today. So fingers crossed for that. All right. And Steve says, evening all. Have you seen the new Under Armour ad online? It's only the shoe slams down and foam doesn't compress at all. It looks like a brick of a shoe. I've seen some ads for it. I don't remember seeing anything like that though. So I'll have to check, but I do remember seeing ads for it. And I'm like, I don't know. Under Armour finally made a shoe that's like good. The Flow Velocity Wind is good. It's expensive, but I imagine it'll go on sale soon. It's expensive, but it's good if it's not on sale already. But I'm like, you lost Aisha Lear, you lost Morgan McDonald. I'm like, those are two big losses in the same year or contract cycle. Do they still have The Rock? I think they still have The Rock. Do they have? I mean, I know they got other athletes, but like as far as like the running, I mean, those were like their last two, like holding on for that like credibility in the running space, And I'm just like, if you lose them, who's? I mean, no disrespect. to anyone who's still at Under Armour. I don't know who's still at Under Armour. Is Steven Scullion still at Under Armour? I don't know. The Irish marathoner. I think he's Irish. I don't know if he's still there or not. I saw him running in some other shoes the other day in a video of his. So like, I don't know, but I don't know who's still at Under Armour as far as a sponsored athlete. And I think they lost 2 big names. So it's a bummer for Under Armour. All right, let's scroll down. I'm sorry if I missed your running question. If you had a running question that you came here to get answered, and or if you're new, if you want to let me know where you're coming from, and I missed it, feel free to put it in the chat again. I started to make you repeat yourself. And Adam says, back in focus. I just saw like the little icon. There's a little icon up here that I see. I don't know if you guys see that. It went away. So I think maybe the other video is up now. So maybe that either that or my computer died or the battery went, like the battery went dead or it went to sleep or something. But all right. Either way, we're here. Kurt says Under Armour still has the Dark Sky running group. Whiny Kaladi. Oh yeah, that's right. Totally forgot about that. My mistake. My apologies for the disrespect there. They do still have the Dark Sky running group. I feel like they got to make sure they keep them happy, right? Up with the Birds has a running question. Says, any good tips for a new runner just starting? I will say, like my main thing for a lot of people that are just starting out running is, run today so you can run tomorrow, right? You want in the beginning, you want to build habits. It doesn't matter if you ran faster today than you ever run if you can't run tomorrow, right? So the idea in the beginning is to build the consistency and build the habit. And that's when you get past the point of like running is a chore. Once you build that habit, running becomes like the thing that you look forward to in the day. So like, that's one of the things that I would say. The other thing that I would say that's like kind of a corollary to that is like, it's going to be really tempting to like try and, you're in this like new space. You see all these other people online that are posting stuff from Strava and like posting the runs and all that. Those are people that might have been doing it for a little while. Maybe they're new too, but everyone has their own kind of like rate in terms of, and timeline in terms of when they kind of like get into the flow of running, and just go at your own pace, to no pun intended. It's a terrible pun, but I feel like that's the best comparison that works. And, all that, like trying to like do what everyone else is doing is a lot of vanity. That's something that I'm definitely very guilty of. But I can tell you from like I'm trying some new stuff. I'm trying a triathlon and getting into some new spaces, swimming and cycling. I'm trying to figure out what are the ways that I can build and grow and not necessarily like try and make myself look like other triathletes. Like I might stick out as the new guy, but I am the new guy. I should stick out, and that's fine. I'm learning, I'll get there. So like, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. So hopefully that you can think about that too and not worry about what other people are thinking. Just get out there, have fun. You don't even have to run the whole time when you're out there as a new runner. Run, walk, especially when it's super hot out. And just work on building that consistency, getting out there for a certain amount of minutes, for a certain number of days a week, and then things will snowball real fast. All right, Simon Evans says, called into a New Balance factory store last week and picked up a fuel cell Propel version 2 for 31 pounds. Whoa. A bargain, but I have no idea where they will fit into my rotation. Maybe a commuting shoe. Well, I mean, the Propel, that is the stability version of the Rebel, isn't it? Or is it, right? Isn't that what it is? So I feel like if you need the stability shoe, that could be something that, that it fits in naturally as like the stable daily trainer. Is that right though? The Propel is the stability. That's what I think. So that's one way you can run with it. And the other thing it could just be like your general shoe, or like something that I remember I used to do when I was in high school is, I would kind of have like a newer shoe and then an older shoe. Because I didn't really have multiple shoes at the same time, except until one was getting like a little bit older in age. And then I would like save the older shoe if I knew it was going to be muddy out or like it was going to be gross out, and then the newer shoe for like nicer conditions. So that could just be another way. If it's like, hey, it's your like knocking around shoe, like whatever. If it gets dirty, it gets gross, you could beat it up and just treat it that way. So that's another way you can do it. Eli Natal says, would you suggest the Hoka Torrent 2 for longer trail runs, 20 plus miles? I would say overall, yes. But I think the thing that with trail running, at least in my experience, is like a big thing about it is the terrain that you're going to run on, not always necessarily the distance, right? And so like for road running, that's like, is this a long run shoe? Is this a speed shoe? That's kind of like the way you look at it. I think in trails, you have to look at it in terms of like distance is one variable and technicality is another variable as well. And so what I would say is, for what I would consider easy to moderate trails, the Torrent 2 is fantastic for long runs. It's got plenty of cushion in it. It's got a lot of room in the toe box to allow for some foot swelling. But it's still got some lugs on there. So it's a pretty good kind of all-rounder, and I like it for longer runs. So I would highly recommend it for that. Shenkai says, would you recommend gels for a half marathon? I'm not an experienced runner. This is my official race. My half marathon best time is currently 1:58. Awesome. So you're doing great. My first half marathon was 2:05 and change. And I was like, I'm awesome at this, which I did feel like it was a pretty good accomplishment. And at that time, I felt like a 2-hour half marathon is pretty amazing. And it is. So you're doing great. For your first official race, I would recommend playing around with, if your half marathon's like this weekend, I'd probably say stick with the liquid in terms of race hydration and race nutrition. But for me, I like to bring gels along for the half marathon. I'll usually bring like 2 to 3, which is probably a lot for most people. But I usually like to have one at like, anywhere between the 3rd and 5th mile, and then like 6th to 10th mile. And then maybe I'll need it, depending on how early I took the other 2, maybe I'll take the 3rd one. Usually the 3rd one doesn't get used. So for me, most frequently it's miles 5 and 10. While also drinking in sports drink along the way too. So you're getting some sugar and sometimes electrolytes from the gel, depending on which one it is, but you're also supplementing that also with some liquids. So especially if it's a summer race, you want to have a lot of liquid just to help you stay cool too. So that's what I would do. But depending on how soon it is, if you don't have time to practice it, some gels don't sit well with some people's stomach than others. I remember at the top of the live stream today, we were talking about how, one of the best ultra runners in the world was derailed, not from a poor pacing strategy, or maybe it's somewhat related, but not a poor pacing strategy, or being unable to finish the course, but because of gastrointestinal distress. So something that I would test. But yeah, I do to answer the question. All right. Andre Masculi says, greetings from Brazil. Do you think it's important using minimalist shoes, the Nike Free RN, for example, in some runnings, since we have a lot of plate/max cushioning in a way to avoid any kind of lesions? This is a question that keeps popping up a lot. It's popped up a lot in the last 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not sure why. Probably because shoes like the Primex have come out, and like the Bondi X have come out and stuff like that. Maybe it's because there's that guy that always puts ads in front of, and I'm glad that he's paying for ad space. That's great. The guy that's like, I don't run in comfortable shoes, and you shouldn't run in comfortable shoes either. That commercial, I'm not a big fan of that commercial. I have no qualms with barefoot or minimalist running. I just don't like that commercial. Because the main reason I don't like that commercial is because it feels like it was made after someone read a book on viral marketing. So I don't like it. But yeah, I don't think that you need to run in minimalist shoes to countervail any potential physiological problems that may arise from running in maximally cushioned shoes or carbon plated shoes, right? So I don't think that if you run in a max cushion shoe, you have to balance it with a no cushion shoe. I don't think that's necessarily how it works in terms of what you're concerned about, which could be some maladaptations from running in max cushion shoes. I think that running in a variety of stack heights with a variety of heel drops is probably the more prudent option. And I think that seems to be the consensus from the physical therapy community. My primary source being the Doctors of Running. They're a team of several doctors of physical therapy, PhDs, right? That's why they're doctors, the PhDs. PhDs in physical therapy, and their consensus seems to be that a variety is what you need. I personally don't think that, and I'm not a physical therapist or an orthopod or anything like that, but I don't think that there's a problem running in all max cushion shoes or all carbon plated shoes. I'm not sure that there's data out there that says that. But if you're concerned about it, I think always whenever we're concerned about these kinds of things. Like, is it bad if I blank? Like, is it bad if I just run 7 days a week? Is it bad if I only run in Mexican shoes? The best solution for that, if you're concerned, is to insert variety into your training regimen. So that's kind of how I would approach it. But I don't think that you have to be like, well, I ran 2 times a week in Bondi X's, so now 2 times a week I got to run on the grass barefoot. So I hope that answers the question. All right. Adam says, take the snap-on visor off the helmet. It's for mountain bikers. Roadies and tri-geeks typically don't have it. I know. At this point, the helmets are just there to kind of like tease everybody, to because I don't have like I did order a road bike helmet. It's hopefully will arrive before the triathlon, but the helmet that I had in Iowa was the only helmet that I could buy at Walmart when I bought the Walmart bike, and I didn't know it was a mountain bike helmet, but it is a mountain bike helmet, and it goes along well with my mountain bike, so that's fine. And then at home, all I have is a burn helmet and not a road one. It's more of like, it's got I bought it with the intent that I'd be riding in the winter when I was bike commuting a lot. So it covers my ears and it's got a lot of coverage, and it looks like a skater's helmet more than it does a bicyclist helmet. And I wear it when I longboard, but I've been riding with that one on the road bike for the past couple of days. And I know it's not the best helmet to wear, but I'm aware that I'm doing it wrong, but I'm just going to let it be for a little bit. Hopefully my new helmet will come in soon. I didn't buy like an aero helmet. I just bought a road bike helmet, so it'll be coming soon. All right. G says JYYY. Yeah, I said it right. Any suggestions for a fast training shoe? 400 to 800 millimeter reps on the track, under $100. Currently looking at the A6 Hyperspeed and the SL20.2. What does the Puma Liberate Nitro come in at? Does anyone know? I don't remember. That one, I love running track workouts in that shoe. It just feels great. That nitro foam is good when it's thin like that too. It's very flexible, and sometimes I like to have a little bit of torsion control on the track. I want it to be like very little between me and the track, so I think that would be another one to look at too. But the Hyperspeed, I'm not sure I would like that one for the track. The SL20.2, I'd probably like that one a little bit more. I would also I didn't try the Kinvara this year. Normally the Kinvara is like a safe choice to recommend for that, but I haven't tried it. And I know the retail on that is not under $100, but maybe you can get some. If you could find like a Kinvara 9, that would definitely be under $100. That would be a good choice for I think the Kinvara 10 as well. The 11 is the one I ran in. That one is not a track shoe. That's more of a daily trainer. But like the 9 and 10, I think, were the ones that were definitely meant a little bit more for speed. All right. Lost my mouse. I don't know if it falls asleep or what. It just goes away every once in a while. All right. Stevie76 says, all right. Thanks for the super chat. And he wants to know, any chance getting Kofuzi's My Wife on the live stream? Maybe for some Q&A. We had a My Wife. That was too loud, guys. Sorry. She doesn't really want to be on camera a lot. I try to sneak her in some of the shots when we do family stuff every once in a while. But she doesn't really want to be on camera. But I will let her know that there has been a request for a Q&A. I've been ever since we went to Boston, and I had to like figure out how to have 2 microphones at the same time, and I had to basically jerry rig something together because my USB mixing board only has input for 1 microphone and a couple of other sound inputs, but 1 microphone. So I was like, oh, I got to upgrade some equipment, I think. So that could be a good reason. I have some other potential projects longer term or maybe someone might be shorter. I actually pitched a brand on something where I would need more microphones and stuff. So we'll see. I've been looking for an excuse to play with more microphones. But that could be a good one. So we'll see. All right. Yeah, Frank says the Puma Liberate Nitro is $100. There you go. So that would be my number 1 recommendation. Yeah. Spicy Pretzel says, you may change the helmet, but keep the glasses. They look great on you. Oh, really? See, I felt like the aviator. I feel like the gooder aviators are smaller than regular aviators. Like if you get Ray-Ban like real aviators, they're a bit bigger. They cover more of the face. And I got a big head. Like I'm reference size shoes. I'm like usually like medium, sometimes a small for tops and sometimes for bottoms too. So I'm like pretty much like straight average, like a Mr. Average. Like if they made a mannequin, well, I think they make mannequins taller, but like I am like straight off the rack for most stuff. But I have a big melon. And so like regular glasses just never seem to fit me right. That's why like Wayfarers are usually pretty safe because they're like kind of an oversized frame. So I like those. But the Gooder aviators, I always thought they look kind of weird on me, but maybe I will. That's kind of like my backup choice. Again, I ordered a pair of like more like triathlon style glasses. I normally just like think they look ridiculous, but Thomas has been run. I've seen Thomas running in his. I run with Thomas when he's been in his, and then Ashley Mateo, who I met over in Boston, she's like, the more endurance events I do, the bigger the sunglasses get. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's time for me. But that one I don't think was going to arrive. I ordered some, but I don't think it's going to arrive in time for the triathlon. So I might be staying with the aviators for the glasses. All right. Let's see. DJ Cracker 800 says, good morning. Just logged on. Welcome, DJ. Coffee is delicious. I got to tell you. CV76 says, big head equals big brain. Well, I always feel like it's inversely proportional, right? Like big head means small brain, like dinosaurs, and Frank says wraparound glasses are nicer on the bike for wind in the face. That's the main reason why I was like, I need to get some different glasses. Because one day I was like I think the first day that I was on the road bike, I didn't wear glasses at all. And it just reminded me like, now I remember when I was on the motorcycle, I always had a full face helmet with the visor that comes down. And it's just because like even in the summer and it's hotter, because like just you don't want to get something to get in your eye, you don't want debris from the road to pop up and get you. So I do think I want something else. And the regular sunglasses that I've been using, like the Gooder ones, basically in my peripheral vision, like there's like reflections that are happening that are real funny. So I keep thinking that like something's appearing. And so I think if I had the wraparounds, it would help. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. NSSI on GCN has huge cycling classes and you should try them. I think that like, if I got to like, I think I got really big ones. So we'll see. Like they're not ski goggle big, but they're big. So I think I may have gotten comically big ones, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like I've never bought glasses of this style before. And like, I don't know how giant they're going to be on my face or if they'll just look like normal glasses on my face because I got a big face. I don't know. I really don't know. All right. Let's see. There was another question that I really wanted to get to. Where was it? Oh, Phil. Phil says, have you been approached by any websites or magazines asking you to write reviews or other articles? Would you want to? Yeah, I would love to. But I suspect that a lot of that stuff is building relationships with those magazines first, like Runner's World or something like that, or like Men's Health or GQ or whatever, would require me being more in the freelance journalism space. I think that like, until I could build more of a repertoire, and I guess it has occurred to me to make a website and like post written versions of the reviews because I know like the limitation of video is engaging. I love video. I prefer working in video, but I also do really enjoy writing. And I think that for a lot of people, well, back when we were all commuting, like I know a lot of people might be on a bus or train and would rather read and scroll through something than have headphones in and watch a video sideways, And so I think that there's a very big portion of potential views that I'm missing. So that would probably happen first before I started like knocking on people's doors, and like I just don't like a lot of rejection and stuff. So like I don't want to be like harassing people like a million times. Like, can I write a review for you? Can I write a review for you? Here's a review that I wrote on spec in case you guys want to pick it up. Like I don't want to do any of that stuff. It's just a real grind and a hassle. That I would rather just write it myself and like put it on my own blog and then just try to derive ad revenue that way. So I've thought about it for sure. And I had always kind of in the back burner thought, well, if I ever go full time, then like during the day, I'll have time to write because the kids will be in school. So school starts Monday. I'm not saying that I'm going to start writing reviews starting Monday, but I got some other stuff that I still need to take care of. So like my days during school will still be busy, but maybe something for later this year or 2022, that could be something. I do think that like there's a space for something that's in between like a review and also like a kind of like a running vlog, but a running blog, that there's a space for something in between that like, I don't know. I do like a almost daily live stream. I do videos many times a week. Like how much more can I possibly say? But I think there's a lot of like inner monologue stuff that sometimes makes it into the form of like the run meditation or the run motivation videos. But I think there's also longer form that I'd really love to be able to explore some more too. So like it's something that's, I wouldn't say it's on a back burner, but yeah. But to more directly answer the question, at least the first question, Believe in the Run's the only one that's asked me to write something, and that's when they sent me over the craft, the Ultra Carbon, the zebra one, which I think was more of like a prototype. I did a write up for them on that, and so like I don't think it got a lot of traction, but it's my first time writing like a shoe review, so like I think I need to. It's one of those areas where like I don't read a lot of shoe reviews or a lot of running content. I consume it by tweets and Instagram and on video. I don't read a lot of it, so like I need to figure out like how are people communicating and how do I want to make it mine. What's my voice in that space? But hopefully there'll be some time to do some of that stuff. Chris Dyke wants to know, how do you fit speed workouts into the weekly rotation with swimming and biking? Yeah, so I feel like for me, I'm not an expert. This is my first triathlon. I'm spending a lot of time figuring stuff out. So like in terms of running, what I've been doing is I treat like a day, if I do a day that's just swimming or just swimming and biking or just biking, I treat that as like an easy day running wise. So let's say I have 7 days of running per week, right? That's kind of like my normal is to run every day. I might take 2 of those days if I'm getting close to training for a race. I might take 2 of those days. One day is more of a speed day, and the other is a long run with some speed in it. If I'm swimming and biking together, I'll still leave 2 days of intense running. So like the proportionality wise, it might be like more than half of my runs are workouts. But I've also have another entire week of like swimming and bicycling, so like that's kind of how I see it. So still 2 days a week of something faster. But yeah, so that's kind of how I would view it. Whether that's ideal or not, I don't know. This triathlon buildup has not been ideal, just because I'm learning so much stuff and I'm so new to everything. So yeah, so that's kind of my approach to it though. All right. Martha says, hey, I heard y'all talking about a serious runner. So I found him last night and watched a bunch. Hilarious. Some people seem to miss that it's satire. Anyone here actually know him, Kofuzi? I don't know him, but I recognized when I saw a serious runner, I recognized him right away because there was a Sage Kennedy video when he did like analysis of a runner running 6:51 pace. And Sage had just a friend in the area running like a 20-mile day at a variety of paces. And that was the same guy. So then once I saw like that same guy making videos, I think one time Sage Kennedy had like tweeted, "This is so funny," kind of thing, and was kind of promoting his friend's channel. And so that's kind of, I was like, oh yeah, that's that guy. That's that guy from the video, same guy. So that's kind of how I find it. So I don't know him personally, but I feel like we would be friends. Either that or I would annoy the heck out of him. I probably would annoy the heck out of him. But yeah. Yeah, Scott says like do your own thing or join Believe in the Run. Yeah, I mean, I think Believe in the Run is great. I think that we're probably I think that'd be cool to be part of that team. I feel like I get along well. I think I would slot in really nicely, but like, I think we're stronger apart in this situation than we are together. That and also like I had my own business for 10 years, and so I was like my own boss for a long time, and I've been doing this on my own for a long time. Like the way I'm like an outside cat now. You can't take an outside cat and make it an inside cat. it's just going to claw all the furniture and just constantly be asked to go outside. So like so I feel like me trying to like join into like a more organized structure will be frustrating for me. And maybe I'm closing off myself to potential opportunities for that. They haven't talked about that or anything, but I just think that it works really well the way things are right now. So I'm enjoying it. And for doing my own thing, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that, at some point, writing will become a part of it, whether it's more like Bromka style, like writing prose or reviews, or maybe the whole gamut, who knows? We'll see. Inna says DC Rainmaker has detailed web reviews and shorter video reviews. It works for him. Yeah, I feel like that would be like kind of like the gold standard in terms of having written reviews that complement the videos as well. I think that one of the things, I mean, I don't read DC Rainmaker because I don't commute anymore, and that's when I did most of my reading is on commutes. But like, and anytime I sit down to read on my phone, it's usually just scrolling through Twitter or Instagram. But it's very useful. Like when you're doing a Google search for something, written reviews are super useful, right? And or like written walkthroughs, so like that's super helpful. So that's something that definitely has like caught my attention as something that I'd like, I might do. But his level of thoroughness on everything is very intimidating, right? So I'm like, if I make a how-to video or if I do a write-up on a how-to, it's not going to be anything near as good as DC Rainmaker, so I'm not going to even try, right? So there's a lot of that I feel. But I feel like, as well, like my audience is probably a little bit different than DC Rainmaker's. DC Rainmaker's audience probably wants exactly that level of meticulousness and detail. In mine, maybe some of you guys do, maybe some of you guys don't. So that's a way to think of it. But I certainly have like looked to him as kind of like a model and as I mean, I don't think we really know each other, but as more of like a mentor in terms of like, I'm like, I watch what he does, I see how he's doing it, and I'm like, learning. Like him and Desfit, they have like just a different level when it comes to like looking at something analytically, and also when they're having fun. So like, it's just like they're able to balance that really well, and I think that they do such a good job. And sometimes it's intimidating because it's so good. All right. Thomasville says no outside cat wants to use a litter box. Yeah, I would just poop and pee all over the place. Oh, look, we got Matt Legrand. Where'd it go? Matt's here. Says, yo, what's going on? What's going on, Matt? How are you? Oh, but while you're here, Matt, I got a question. Triathlon noob question. By the way, anyone that's interested in doing a triathlon, Matt made a really great video a little while ago about like what to expect on your first triathlon. And I found it super helpful. Kind of like the nuts and bolts things that like you don't know that you need to ask and figure out. A lot of that kind of stuff was in there. But here's one thing I have a question about. So yesterday I went down and I did my first open water swim. That's what today's video is about. I think it's up now. I think it's finished uploading by now. It might be still processing. I don't know. But I put on the wetsuit. I wore it for the first time. I did try it on at home first, and my kids thought it was hilarious because they like they were just trying to like squeeze me into the thing and like pull up the zipper. They were like jumping and trying to like get the zipper up. It was really funny, and I was like, I'm gonna break this thing before I even get it in the water. But I got it on. It's a sleeveless wetsuit, and the way it's cut, my sleeveless like triathlon top, you could see it underneath. And I was looking around at all the other dudes. None of the other dudes had their like triathlon shirt underneath their wetsuit. Was I being a noob? Should I not wear that? Do I put on the triathlon top after I get out of the water, or should I wear it in the water and just, that's just the way mine fits? That's maybe, and if anyone else can answer it, I'd love to see that. I just, cause I didn't know. I'm like, everybody's looking at me. They know that I'm the new one, and I messed it up, and I shouldn't have worn my triathlon shirt underneath my wetsuit. So I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know what the answer to that question is. All right, Martha says about cats though that the rescued indoor cats are the best. All right, can I be considered a rescued indoor cat? I don't think so. I've been an outside cat. I think a reformed outside cat is the best I can hope for. All right. Terry Furlong says, oh, Adam says about the shirt, put it on after I get out. So swim without the shirt. Okay. But I gotta wear the triathlon shorts though underneath. By the way, like I just ordered another pair of triathlon shorts because the ones that I had, they're wearing through on the back. Like I feel like I'm about to wear them out. It's not because I got cheap ones, although I did get cheap ones, but I think it's because last weekend I forgot to bring swim trunks. So when we went to the pool, I went in my triathlon shorts. And my daughter at this other pool that we went to, they let you like ride with your kid down this spinny slide, whereas the Dyersville pool they don't let you do that. So the baby wanted to do that the entire time. So I went down a spinny slide probably like literally 100 times last weekend. And then my wife also probably went literally like 150 times. She would just get off the slide and run back up the ladder to do it again. And I think the friction of riding down a water slide in the triathlon shorts was like wearing out the back of it. So hopefully I'll get a new one. Oh, and Matt said he sent me a sleeved suit and a different tri-suit if you want to try. All right. Well, all right. I haven't gotten it yet. I'll check the packages. But yeah, I think I need some options here at this point. And Jason says, so I appreciate that, Matt. Awesome. And Thomas says chlorine kills the tri-gear. So maybe that's what it is too. They should just start triathlons with the slide. I like that. I like that a lot. Awesome. And Jeff Elliott said in my triathlon shorts I had too much glute activation. That's funny. That's so funny. Simon says go naked under the wetsuit and change that to transition. If anybody is offended, it's their fault for looking. I don't think that's gonna work for me. And Jason Dahl said he wore his under the wetsuit because it made him feel like a pro, even though he's super slow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wear mine. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I'm not sure. I don't know. If I ultimately go with a sleeved shirt, I probably won't because I don't want to wear a sleeve shirt under a sleeveless wetsuit. So we'll see what I end up going with. And Matt says, I'm not being a noob for wearing it that way. It'll be faster in T1 if you don't have to pull it up over wet arms. Okay. All right. So we'll see. Hakakura says, wear a one-piece suit and you roll the top part down so you get out of the water. Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a one-piece like wetsuit. Yeah. And then I'll wait and you roll so you get out of the water. Oh, I see what you're saying. So then there's like a band of fabric then at your waist. I don't know if I'd like that, but I guess that makes sense. And Thomas said, since it was a swim only, most people probably did not have their kit on. On race day, you'll see more. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for like answering and humoring my like noob questions. Terry says the best triathlon tip I was ever given works for all sports. Take your own toilet paper and wear your one piece under your wetsuit. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna have a one piece, I don't think. So we'll see. I love all the opinions on it. It's very helpful to me. Yeah, and Adam says, unless it's super hot, you don't want to start the bike with a wet shirt. See, like I think I'd be all right. I think it's gonna be pretty warm on Sunday. So like I think that I'll actually like it. Like the little bit of the wind and the wet. I get it. I think. And Thomas says, no one's gonna care what I look like. I'll be in the water. Yeah, and I feel like I'll get a lot of eyes on me though, because I'll be the last one out of the water. So I feel like, but then if I'm doing something wrong, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's why he's last, so it'll be okay. Oh, you guys are awesome. Stevie76 says, will you be DQ'd for if I go naked? I don't know. I thought there were rules about stuff like that. Like, aren't there rules in some of them? Like you can't like unzip too far for men because women don't. I don't know. I think that's what I'm not sure what the rules are on that. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah. I'm looking forward to the triathlon. I mean, you guys all see the video, but I did the since I have you guys here already, I'll tell you about it. I did finish the swim and I got to the open water swim and it was just basically like, hey, you're gonna swim a mile today. Oh, Yeah, and spicy pretzel. I think you had put this up earlier, and I apologize. I missed the question. I did see it. He said, "What are the distance your triathlon going to be?" I'm doing Olympic distance, so it's a 1,500-meter swim, a 40-kilometer bike ride, and a 10K run. And so, like for me, it gets easier and easier as I go down through the day, but it'll also be hotter, and I'll be tired, more and more tired as I go. So, yeah. So the distance is the 1,500-meter swim, and I think we swam a mile yesterday, in one go, which is my longest in one go. Although he did break at the quarter-mile spot point. A couple of us rested on a kayak, a stand-up paddleboard, and then or just a paddleboard. I don't know if it was a stand. The guy wasn't standing on it. And then at the halfway point at the turnaround, we hung out on the wall for a little bit. But then the last half mile, I did swim the whole way. I mean, I did a variety of strokes, but I didn't have to like take a break. So, yeah. So I feel good about it, and now I know that I can do it. So that's a big thing. So I'm feeling really good and confident now. I'm by no means am I going to set any age group records. I don't even think I'm going to be in the middle of the pack. I think as long as I could beat the street sweepers as far as like, missing cutoff. I haven't seen anything about cutoff times, but I don't know. Jason Dahl says, does the bike course still go on Lower Wacker? You feel like Batman riding down there. I think it does. I think it does. Someone was mentioning to me yesterday that, that part when you go from Lower Wacker to up, I think there's a part where you transition up. And that's like the only real big hill, I guess. And it's punchy, is what someone said. They use that word punchy. So, yeah. So I think that we are going to be on there. I definitely need to look more at the course. But like, I don't know. Like I think I looked at the course initially, but it's in Chicago, so it's not like there's going to be huge surprises in terms of like, oh, I didn't know that this was mountainous, right? So like that's the main thing that I usually do when I look at a race. Very early, I just try to figure out, are there any surprises that I need to specifically train for, and then I won't look really at it until like a couple of days beforehand. So, yeah. Garrett Meek says, what kind of stroke are you thinking of going on race day? I'm gonna be doing front crawl and side stroke, so that's going to be the two. I think that I mentioned it yesterday that I have vertigo, but I don't know if it's the vertigo or what, or if it's just one of the instructors was saying yesterday, like once you're swimming for a while, your body gets used to that. And then if you change and like are resting, sometimes that makes people like lightheaded or whatever. So I don't know if it's that or if it's my vertigo acting up, but when I bilateral breathe, that makes me lightheaded and feel a little bit motion sick. And if I try to swim on my back and float, that also like instantly it feels like blood rushed either to my head or away from my head, one of the two, and I just feel terrible. I feel like I'm going to vomit. So like I'm not going to be doing any backstroke or resting that way. So like side stroke and front crawl. Those will be my two. My goal is to do more front crawl than side stroke. But like I was telling the new runner at the beginning or earlier in the podcast, in the live stream today, like I feel like the desire to do more front crawl than side stroke is that vanity. We want to be like, wow, that's what real swimmers do. So you got to swim like a real swimmer. Like, if I get out there on the day and I'm like, my regular swim stroke feels like crap and only thing that feels good is side stroke, I'll just do side stroke the whole time. I've timed it out. Per 100, I'm like 10 seconds slower if I do side stroke. So like it doesn't say much for my front crawl. But so it's a lot of it's just going to be vanity, so like to pick one or the other. So whatever I feel like I can sustain for the day is what I'm going to go with. I think that the best way for me to be fast is to do something, whatever I can do to not have to actually stop, which I probably still will. And Matt says, if you feel dizzy, it's probably from cold water hitting the eardrums. Make swimming earplug if it's a major problem. Maybe I'll have to do that because I get water stuck in my ear all the time. Like in the middle of a swim workout in the pool session, I'll just be like bouncing my head trying to get the water out. And sometimes if I forget, or even if I do feel like I got the water out, it'll be like 4 or 5 hours later in the day and I'll be like, oh, there's water in there. And then I'll like just jump up and down trying to get the water out. So like maybe, yeah. So yeah. All right. Frank says, when they first started triathlons, the Navy SEALs would compete, but they were trained to swim quietly, so they didn't do very well. Yeah. So like, I think that I'll be doing a lot of that kind of swimming, the quiet swimming, I guess. All right. Yeah. And Rob says, put the goggles under the cap. Since others will be around, it'll make sure people don't accidentally pull those off. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to double cap it. So I'm going to have my regular cap, the goggles, and then whatever colored cap they need me to wear will be on top. So I think I'm going to do that. So we'll go with that. Yeah, Garrett Meek says, if you're swimming in water, you're a real swimmer, aren't you? Yeah. We say that all the time with the runners. So I agree. I'll be swimming. I'll be finishing it. So, it'll get me across the line, and that's all that matters. Right. So, and JC says the earplugs change the swim for him. They don't block sound. Oh, okay. That's good to know. All right. And it says the breaststroke is quite a good stroke for runners. The breathing is closer to running. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll annoy people by being the breaststroker, but that's okay. And Spicy Pretzel wants to know, what about the running shoes on race day? I'm going to go with the Carbon X2s. And I just ordered, and I think they should arrive on time, some speed laces. So the colors won't exactly match, I think, but it'll be close enough. I'll get some red speed laces on there, so that way I can just like cinch them and be off and running, and just hop right into them. So that's what I'm gonna go with. So I think that'll be fun to try that out. Yeah, and Rob said, do you have a wetsuit? Is it wetsuit legal? It is. And I think the water temperature yesterday was 71, 73, somewhere in there. I don't think until it gets much hotter, water temp wise, does it become like wetsuit optional. So like, but it'll be nice temperature for water. But I'll still be able to swim in the wetsuit. And that was fun. I do enjoy swimming in the wetsuit, I gotta say. Scott says, proud of you. I'm looking forward to hear how it went. Best of luck. Thanks, Scott. I know I got you guys cheering for me, so that's definitely something I'll be remembering when I'm in the water and want to quit, so that definitely helps me. Martha says, have you reviewed the Carbon X2s yet? My friend in my San Diego running store thinks it's the CP Racer that might suit me, the Carbon Plater Racer that might suit me, but it's too late to try now. I haven't run it in a while, but I did make content about it earlier in the year. It was before the Mach 4 came out is when I reviewed it. So like that's how long ago I reviewed that shoe. And I've got maybe 30 to 40 miles in on it. And so I like it because it's not as pronounced of a carbon plate feel. But it's more of a carbon plate feel than the Carbon X1. It's also a little bit softer and a little bit roomier than the Carbon X1. So a lot of the things that I thought were problems with the Carbon X1 are fixed in the Carbon X2. It still doesn't feel like a super, super fast shoe, but I like the mechanics. It's like if you like the Mach 4, then you're going to find the Carbon X2 enjoyable. Whether you think it's like, a super shoe or not, I feel like a lot of people are going to quibble about that, but it feels like a more, race-oriented Mach 4 is probably the best way I can say it. Spicy Pretzel says, I wish you all the best for the race. Fingers crossed. Thanks, Spicy. And Matthew Doherty says, I'll be there with you. It's my first Olympic International. Should be an awesome day for race. Awesome, Matthew. So if I see you, got to make sure you say hi. I guess I could probably look for a guy with glasses, but you'll probably have a swim cap and goggles on. So it'll be hard for me to recognize you. So make sure you say hi, and maybe we can grab a beer afterwards. And Adam says, you're going to blow by people on the run and that'll feel good. I think so. I think just because of how slow my swim's going to be, I'm hoping to catch some people on the bike and on the run. But I also I was doing the math yesterday. I'm like, I think I'm going to be finishing it's going to be a 3.5 hour day for me, maybe longer. That puts me way in the back. So I don't know how many people will be left to pass at that point. So we'll see. All right. Jeff says, have you done any runs off the bike? I've done some, not. I haven't done one where I was tried to set up a transition zone or anything like that. But I've done days where it's I'm going to go ride first, and then go for park the bike in the garage, leave shoes outside and just switch shoes, and then go. Or previously I didn't have bicycle shoes, so I just ran. I biked in my running shoes. So I've done that. So like, so I've done that. I've done, swim runs, bike runs. Most of my workouts this summer were some sort of bricks where it was just 2 disciplines in the same day. So like I feel somewhat comfortable in like the feeling of like, just like jelly legs going from one thing to another. Hopefully I've done enough of that. We'll see. Okay. All right. I think that's going to be a good place to leave it for today, guys. Tomorrow's video is going to be, I think, just kind of like a running vlog video kind of day, talking about what I was up to, meeting some friends, that kind of thing. So it should just be kind of just fun. If I make a video about it, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know, do people want to watch these? But I think it's kind of fun just to have kind of like what's going on day to day, more running vlog. I enjoy those. I enjoy making them. So that'll be tomorrow if we have a video. And then we'll do another live stream in the afternoon. Tomorrow, we're going to try that super salty scratch. It's over 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving. It's like ramen noodle levels of salt in a passion fruit electrolyte drink package. So super curious to try it out. I've been enjoying the 100 grams per bottle of scratch of sugar that the other scratch product we tried last week. I've been drinking that a lot. It's been really nice. 400 calories per 100 grams of sugar. It's got you don't need gels, I guess. It's designed for people that don't want gels. But tomorrow we'll try an extra salty one. I think it'll be really good for marathon training when it's still super hot out. So that'll be tomorrow. All right. Hopefully I'll see you then. And in the meantime, take care, everybody. Thanks.